Taking you around the exciting world of live sports video production technology. The SVG Sports Tech On Demand series is back with another edition, and we are very, very happy to be joined by the team at Supponor. Chief Product Officer Steve Plunkett is with us. Steve, it's wonderful to see you, sir. Thanks so much for taking the time. How are you?
Hey, Brandon. Great. Yeah, great to see you too. Hope you're keeping well.
We certainly are. We're very excited to talk to you about the growth of virtual ad insertion in live sports production, something that you and your team do an exceptionally good job on, something that at least, anecdotally here in the States, we're seeing a lot more of. You're seeing a lot more of changing and rotating virtual graphics on ice hockey rinks, on basketball courts, something that you guys have been actively building and advancing in for quite some time. I'm curious from your perspective, what it's been like to kind of see things evolve over the past year. There's been a lot of people who have been trying to generate these quote unquote make goods and, really drive valuable product placement for sponsors at a time when maybe fans aren't in the building, et cetera, et cetera. How have you seen virtual ad insertion both grow and evolve over the past 12, 13 months since the pandemic really shook things up?
Yeah, no, it's been, from a business perspective, it's been great. We've spent a long time building our products, and they've been in the market quite a long time in some territories in Europe. But I think the pandemic and the lack of fans, drove both rights holders and sports federations to look for better value. How can they deliver more value to their brands and sponsors? The lack of a crowd, is a big change, and so we found ourselves with, becoming an overnight success, having spent 15 years sort of preparing for it, as it were. Mm-hmm. And I think that the awareness of the technology and its application in new areas, so using it in empty stadium and places where it wasn't really ever going to be used, had we not entered this strange time that we've moved into with the pandemic, just created then a novelty and an interest in the topic more generally. So I think business drivers for the rights holders to try and deliver more to their brands and sponsors, and a different canvas on which you can paint in a stadium.
And not to get too layman's here, but I mean, even I feel like when I talk to casual watchers of sports, the technologies that companies like yours have developed have become so seamless that it's becoming harder and harder for the average viewer to even know what's a physical ad and a virtual ad on a court these days.
Well, the success to us is that no one ever knows that we're there.
Right.
So a lot of what we do, is very accurately place the graphics, but then scale back. So, one of the challenges is we can place beautifully crisp virtual graphics that look too good to be true. So actually, a lot of what we're doing is then adjusting to be aware of the surrounding lighting. So in outdoor arenas is particularly challenging. Mm-hmm. Sun and shade comes down. We're placing a replacement across an LED perimeter. We need to be able to replicate the sun and shade differences on the virtual as well as on the real. So yeah, if you don't know we're there, then we've done a great job.
Sure, exactly. And another huge part of the equation that you guys have put a lot of investment into recently is kind of delivering on the back end of this whole thing. Yes, you're able to place beautiful graphics on the playing surfaces, like you're saying, but how does the broadcaster or the partner show that ROI directly to the sponsor that's purchasing that inventory? And you guys have been building out your analytics and reporting hub. How have you put more effort and brought more value to your clients and helping them show the value after the fact when this is all done?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because it's something we've been spending the last 12 months in active development of. And it really came from conversations with some of our existing customers whereby, they use their technology pre-game. They'll go and they'll create an event and they'll place artwork in the virtual locations of the match. They'll create a playlist and a sequence for the different ads and sponsors. And then, of course, what we really do is the event itself. So doing what we do, replacing the ads in the live stream. And that's sort of been it historically. And in conversation with our customers saying, how can we help you explain and showcase what you've done for your brands? What do you do next, sort of thing? And so it turns out that what they do next, for example, was take the recording of the game, and then maybe the next day after broadcast, painstakingly go through and find each brand's presence and do that for multiple brands. So, make highlights videos, for example, on a pair brand basis, and then send the Dropbox link to somebody on an email with. So there was a lot of important stuff happening, after we've sort of stepped away. And we said, well, actually, we have great data and insight in our system. We know exactly what's going on here. We know when every brand is being rendered. So maybe we can automate much of that. And that's essentially what we've done with this new platform. We take the data that's been placed in our system pre-event, and we capture live data that our system has unique visibility of. And for example, create automated brand clips. So without any human intervention whatsoever, just after the game, we can create perfectly clipped together highlights packages for every brand who participates in the event, and then we make that available in a web portal. We apply controls and restrictions to comply with league and rights holder rules on availability windows, and not letting somebody download a video or putting watermarks. So really doing everything we can to make it really easy for the brands to see how they participate in the game in a nice modern web front end. So it's been very well received by our customers.
Yeah, I was going to say you're helping them show value to their sponsors, and you're taking work off their hands. I have to imagine they like both of those things combined.
And two different constituents. The guys who were doing all the work creating those videos, they freed up an awful lot of their time, and then the sales team are able to impress the brand by saying, "Hey, look, you can see how you participated now very easily." And yeah, it's been great.
That's awesome. Real quickly before we let you go, what are some sports and maybe some regions of the world specifically where you guys have seen success?
We've been very strong in Europe for quite a while. Spain and Germany in the Bundesliga and Liga. More recently, Italy and France. We've participated in a number of live events in those territories. We have a strong history and a recent history in North America, in the US, Canada, and we've active conversations. I think, as you said in the beginning, there's awareness now of this technology called virtual advertising, and we're getting requests. I mean, literally from all corners of the world, in every class of sport you've come across, including some really unusual and niche ones, who are coming to us saying, "Hey, can you help us provide a little bit more back to our sponsors using this tech?" And yeah, it's been great.
It's exciting stuff that you guys have, what you're working on. Steve, thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. And best of luck to you and everyone at the team. Continued success. And we appreciate all the help you're helping deliver to broadcasters to help show their value these days. Thanks for all the hard work.
Thanks very much, Brendan. Absolute pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course, he is Steve Plunkett. He is Chief Product Officer at Supponor. You're definitely going to want to check out what they're up to, especially if you're looking at what to do on your graphics front. You can learn more about them and check out more of the SVG Sports Tech On Demand series. Now, just head on over to our site, sportsvideo.org.